Good morning, everyone, and we are beginning today the Sefer Emunah Ubitachin, written by the Chazon Ish. And you should know that for many years, decades, this is a Sefer that has been very much closed off to the English world. The Chazon Ish, as we mentioned yesterday, was an extremely lofty neshama. And the way that he wrote this Sefer is in the most poetic and beautiful words, Hebrew language that he uses. And it's something that is quite foreign to the American mind. It's not the way that we're used to hearing the Hebrew language with such a vast array of explanations and words and the methodology, the way that he puts things together to create really a tapestry of image and of vision and understanding and weaving it all together in a masterful way. As a result of that, the average American, for years and years and years, was not able to access the words of the Chazon Ish, which is a chaval, which is unfortunate because these are life-changing words. So there are two major translations that were written over the last number of years. One was written by Dovid Nakash, and the other one, in his humility, he doesn't even say his first name, was written by Rav Y. Goldstein. Both of them are critically acclaimed. Both of them have been accepted in the Torah world as doing a wonderful and excellent job of explaining and translating the words of the Chazon Ish. So I too plan to use these two perushim, these commentaries over here, to be able to understand better and make sense in the best way that we can of the words of the Chazon Ish, so that we could be able to learn it and understand the messages and the depth of what the Chazon Ish is saying. And I think you'll see from the very beginning just how poetic and how royal the language of the Chazon Ish truly is. Now, Perek Aleph, the first chapter, is Emunah, is all about faith. The Chazon Ish was a man of tremendous Emunah. Stories are told of the way in which the Chazon Ish was able to believe and know and see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Rav Shmuel HaLevi Vosner, who was known as the Shevet HaLevi, one of the greatest poskim that lived in Bnei Brak, he once walked into the courtyard where the Chazon Ish was. And he sees the Chazon Ish sitting on a chair, staring up at Shemaim, at the heavens. He's examining the stars and the celestial beings. And he's like in a trance. And there are tears that are coming down the cheeks of the Chazon Ish. The Chazon Ish was so in love with the Ribbono Shel Olam. He was so aware of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He saw Hashem's imprint and his fingerprint everywhere that he looked. He was a man that was living with Emunah. The Chazon Ish once had a flower in his house, and he was spending a lot of time examining the profundities of that flower. And he was so overwhelmed with how HaKadosh Baruch Hu made that flower and what it means, that this is the production of Hashem. He was brought once again to tears, and he began to become faint from the spiritual almost ecstasy that he had, that he was communing with Hashem. And he asked someone else, please remove the flower so I can continue to focus and do what I need. And this was the sensitive, lofty neshama of the Chazon Ish, of what he was able to see in the world of Hashem and the world of Emunah. So let us now embark in the short time that we have left. Let's just read the first words and perhaps we'll come back tomorrow. Midas Emunahi, the midah, the trait of Emunah, which the Chazon Ish is inflecting over here these words. And that is that Emunah is a midah. It's a trait. Just like you have a midah to be about chesed, to do chesed. You have a midah to be compassionate and be kind. You have a midah to be strong like a lion, to do the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Just like you have a midah that is a person who is going to be sensitive to others, so too there is a midah called Emunah. It's a trait. Midas Emunahi Nitiyah Daka. It is a very delicate inclination. Ma'adinos hanefesh from the refinement of the nefesh of the soul. Emunah is something that is so delicate. It's a piece of the refinement of your neshama, and this perhaps we are going to see is going to be the struggle that we have in life of being truly ma'aminim, of really believing in Hashem, because we're not all connected to the adinas hanefesh, to the refined areas of our soul. But with Hashem's help, as we continue to go through the Sefer of the Chazon Ish, we will appreciate the midah of Emunah, this trait of what Emunah is, and we will get in tune with the adinas hanefesh, with the purity and the refinement and the sensitivity of our neshama, so that we can become sensitive to the Ribono Shel Olam and strengthen ourselves in our lives and our world of Emunah. Have a wonderful day.